It vanished in the night. The desert swallowed its tracks. Years later, a faint whisper of Quranic recitation still drifted through the sand. What happened to the pilgrims and their companions on that fateful journey? Stay with me, because the answer will move you. In the early years of the Abbasid Caliphate, when great caravan routes still sliced through the Arabian sands, a young merchant named Zaydin al-Ri yearned for the journey of faith. He joined a large pilgrim caravan, led by the experienced guardian Fakir ibn Kamar, setting out from Iraq towards the holy city of Medina. Among them were a gentle soul named Amina al-Basri and her younger brother, Hisham, seeking spiritual renewal. With dozens of camels, trade goods, and hopeful hearts, they took the old, well-supported road. But the desert is never truly tamed. One dusk, as they camped at the foot of a great dune, a fierce sandstorm rose without warning. The sky turned a sickening yellow-brown, the wind howled, and camels cried out in panic. Fatir ordered everyone to huddle close. Zidane held Amina's hand. Hisham crouched beside his sister, and for hours they endured the storm. When dawn finally broke, the scene was grim. Camels were scattered, gear was lost, and worst of all, the track ahead had vanished. The dunes had shifted overnight, covering every familiar landmark. Zaydin realized with a sinking heart they were lost. Days blurred into nights. The water supply dwindled. The pilgrims held their spirits firm, calling the adhan and reciting the Qur'an together. Their voices a fragile shield against the vast silent desert. But the more they pressed on, the more the desert closed in. Camels faltered. People fainted from the heat and despair. One night, Hisham awoke to a distant sound, a soft, clear voice reciting Quranic verses, though no person could be seen. He nudged his sister, and Amina listened too. Was it their minds playing tricks, or something more? The next morning, they followed the voice's echo. It led them to the ruins of an old, abandoned pilgrim station, where a half-buried well held a few precious handfuls of fresh water. Their hope was rekindled. They rested for a day before setting out again at twilight. As darkness fell, the recitation returned, louder this time. All heads turned. Ahead, they saw the faint outlines of figures kneeling in prayer. Zaydin crept forward and realized it was their own camels, some standing, some fallen, but the pilgrims themselves were nowhere in sight. Fakir called out, "Friends, where are you?" There was no answer. The sand underfoot was undisturbed. They searched until dawn, but found only tracks that vanished into a wall of sand as if swallowed whole. The voice of the Qur'an hung in the air, but the people who had been praying were gone. Years later, locals passing by that abandoned station would claim that, on quiet desert nights, they could still hear the soft recitation of Quranic verses carried on the wind. Though the caravan had vanished, their devotion remained. Zaydin, in his old age, told his grandchildren, "What we lost in sight, we found in faith." The desert does not bury a sincere prayer. Amina became a teacher of the Qur'an, and Hisham dedicated his life to helping lost travelers, always telling them when the path disappears. Follow the voice of remembrance. This story offers us a timeless lesson. Faith isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about staying steadfast when the route is gone. The desert may hide the trail, but the voice of remembrance, our prayers, our devotion remains a compass. When we feel lost in life, when storms of trial blind our way, we must listen for that inner voice of faith. If you've ever felt lost in life's desert, remember this. You may not see the path ahead, but hold on to the words that built your spirit. The journey may be silent and unseen, but its impact can shine through generations. Have you ever felt lost and heard a voice in your soul that guided you? Thank you for staying with me through this journey. If you found this uplifting, please like, share, and subscribe to help spread stories that touch hearts. And drop a comment below. What part of this story moved you most? Till next time, may your path be guided by remembrance and your journey strengthened by faith.